Hello, welcome to story time with Sherry de la Creme, female feeder. How are you doing, piggies? Good to be back with you once again. So here's a little story I wrote. Emily had always struggled with her weight. As a child, she was always a little on the heavy side, and as she grew older, she found it increasingly difficult to control her eating habits. By the time she'd reached her mid-20s, she was officially classified as obese, but she just could not stop herself from indulging in her favourite foods. Her mum was always nagging her to lose weight and would often lock away food in the kitchen. Not only that, poor Emily just kept outgrowing all her clothes. And now, in her mid-20s, she was a healthy 220 pounds and a beautiful plump size 18. She knew that she probably should lose a bit of weight for her health's sake, but she just couldn't help herself. She just loved to eat. She would like nothing better than a huge feast ordered from somewhere like KFC or McDonald's and just sit there by herself, rubbing her belly, stuffing her greedy face full of burgers, fries, and milkshake. One day, as Emily was walking home from the grocery store, she noticed a man sitting on a bench across the street. He was staring at her intently, and she couldn't help but feel a little unnerved by his gaze. She quickly crossed the street and tried to put the encounter out of her mind. However, over the next few days, Emily began to notice the man more and more every time she went to the grocery store to get another packet of biscuits and a 2-litre bottle of Coke. Every time she went out in public, he seemed to be there watching her. And then, one day, he approached her. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said, his voice low and grovelly. "I couldn't help but notice how much you love food." Emily was a little taken aback by his words, but she couldn't deny they were true. You only had to look down at her large, bulbous belly that struggled to contain itself under her jumper. Her jeans were very tight and you could see her muffin top spilling out. All the rolls of fat were struggling to contain themselves under all the weight of her flesh. She loved food more than anything else in the world, and she couldn't help but indulge in her favourite treats whenever she had the chance. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said. "I've got a little something for you," he said, holding out a small package. "It's a gift, something to help you enjoy your food even more." Emily hesitated for a moment, but then she took the package from the man's hand. Inside was a small box of chocolates, and as soon as she opened it, she knew that they were the most delicious chocolates she had ever tasted. Over the next few weeks, the man continued to bring Emily gifts of food. Chocolates, cakes, and all sorts of other lovely treats she couldn't resist. And every time she ate something he had given her, she felt a strange sensation, as though she were fulfilling some deeper need within herself. As the days went by, Emily began to realize that something was wrong. She was gaining weight at an alarming rate, bigger than she'd ever been in her life. And she knew she couldn't just keep eating like this forever. But whenever she tried to resist the man's gifts, he would just show up again with something even more tempting. She decided to confront the man. "You're feeding me all this food," she said, her voice trembling with anger. "Why? What do you want from me?" The man just smiled at her, his eyes glinting with something that Emily couldn't quite decipher. "I just want to watch you eat," he said. "That's all." And that, my darling pigs, is part one. Part two is coming soon.